Hey everyone, welcome to Live with Blaine J, your weekly connection to people, brands, and businesses. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not going to give a long introduction because I want us to just jump into the conversation, but today's guest is Christine Germain. She is the author of The Brothers Curse Saga. It is a four-part book. It's a 4 books in a series. The latest book just came out last week. It's The Stone, The Curse of Mastema. She is going to come on now because we have so much to talk about. So here is Christine. Hey. How are you? Oh, you can't hear me. Hold on. We're about to fix that. Can you hear me now? You still can't hear me. Okay, this is why it's live, because stuff happens. So hold on. Hold on. Oh, you can't hear me. Hold on. Hold on. But while we're getting the audio together, thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody is doing well. Big shout out to everybody who always tunes in. I have a lot of new people who have been contacting me that have seen the show. So thank you so much for all of your support. And I guess while we're waiting for Christine's audio, I'll just say that Christine was the first guest I ever had on live. We had this live in December of last year when I first came up with the concept to even do these interviews. Can you hear me, Christine? I don't think she can still. Nope, she still can't hear me. Okay. When I first came up with the concept to do these lives, Christine was one of the first people that I thought about because she was promoting this book that she wrote. She had self-published it. She was just on it, and nobody knew that she was doing this. Nobody knew that she wrote this book many years ago. She wrote all 4 books, and she was just trying to get people to read it and promote it and know about it. And I was just like, does anybody know how awesome and how dope this is? So I thought she would be an amazing guest. I think she can hear me now. I can hear you. Okay, so we're gonna, it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna get it together. Can you hear me now?
Can somebody hear me?
Anybody? I can hear you.
You can hear me? I can't hear you. How come I can't hear you?
What if you take the earphones out? Does that do anything? Oh, she can't.
No, I can't hear anything.
I'm talking like she can hear me.
No.
Okay.
I can't hear.
It's all good. Maybe we have to come. Maybe we have to come out and come back in. And I'm saying that because we have a behind the scenes producer, so he's the one who's trying to get it together. And this is why it's live, because stuff be happening and it's not always perfect. So, but we will be ready in a minute. But I was saying, Christine wrote these books. She's super dope. I'm gonna try to wait for her to come back on now. But her first book, The Brothers Curse, is out. It's available on Amazon. Her second book, like I mentioned, The Stone, The Curse of Mastema, is also out now on Amazon. And the 2 other books will be out, I believe, later this year or sometime next year. She's going to let us know when she comes back on. But I'm really excited to have her. When I first approached her about doing lives, she was all for it last year. She's so bubbly. She's just so much fun to be around. So I knew that it was going to be a really good interview. And what's so funny is we have this background with each other. We'll talk about it in a minute. But she's been into horror for a really long time. We actually participated in a horror movie when we were in high school. So now that she has these books out, it's just full circle of what she used to be into in high school, kind of like the 90s horror theme stuff. And to now have these books out, it's just a combination of everything that she's been into as a teenager and then now as an adult. So I am excited for her to come back once the audio starts working. And thank you for sticking with us, those of you that are on here. Let's see. And hopefully she comes back soon because I'm hungry. I should have eaten before I started doing the lives, but I was like, let me talk and then I'm gonna go eat afterwards. I should have eaten before because now I'm getting hungry. But next time, I know for next time to eat before I do this. Okay. Should I stay on? I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you all. I'm asking the producer behind the scenes, should I stay on here? Okay,
Someone
Christine.
hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I could always hear you for the whole time.
Okay.
It's all good. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have to repeat some of the stuff that I said because I was like telling everybody about you, but I'm glad that we got the audio together. Thank you to the behind the scenes producer for making it work.
Thank you.
So we're good to go.
Okay.
So this is Christine Germain. She is the author of The Brothers Curse Saga, which is 4 books. 2 of them are out right now. I was telling everybody where to get them. Get The Brothers Curse on Amazon. You get the new book out, The Stone, The Curse of Mastema, out now on Amazon as well. And I also mentioned that you were the first guest that I had on my live last year. We had such a good time. So I'm excited for you that you're the first guest to come back for the second time now.
I know. I'm a recurring guest now. Thank you.
You are. You have two more lives to do because there's 4 books. So you have 2 more lives that you have to do. So I'm so excited. And like I mentioned to anyone who's just joining, Christine and I went to high school together. We went to Bishop Ford High School in Brooklyn. We're always so proud of where we're from and our school. And so I mentioned the video that we did in high school. We did a Scream video, our version of Scream. And so it's just so great to have the video that we did in high school to now see it kind of come to life with you writing these books and incorporating like the kind of 90s horror genre type to it. So for people who are not familiar with your first book, before we get into the second one, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because they tie together, all the books tie together because they're all in the same series.
Yes. So the first book, The Brothers Curse, is about a girl named Crystal Francois who moves back to her Erie town of Lakeview Falls a year after her parents were brutally murdered. Now, a few weeks, 2 weeks before her 25th birthday, she receives an amethyst necklace by her late mother. And then she finds out later on that she's being hunted by 2 18th century shapeshifters who are after this necklace to retrieve their 200-year-old demonic father and 24 entities that are locked up inside this pendant that she's wearing.
You're like, that's it. That's all it's about. It's just that but I want everybody to know, because that's horror, that's fantasy. There's so much in the book. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of great characters. And so you wrote this book a long time ago, because I want people to understand that this is not something like new. You've been at this for a while.
Yes, since we were in high school. I don't know if I remember I was talking to you about it, but it stems from when I was 12 years old, when I came up with the story, and then gradually between 12 and 18, I was able to complete the pretty much the first draft of the story. But 27 years later, I rewrote it, and it's now The Brothers Curse. And then I was able to continue on right after with the sequel, and then the trilogy, and the 4th.
So tell us about the new book. What is without giving too much away, because people want to be a little surprised.
I know.
But you told us kind of like the overview of the first book. So can you tell us a little bit of the overview of the second?
Ooh, it is so hard because of the way the first book ends. And I don't want to spoil anything because I have people reading it. But let's just say
we know there's a stone. We know there's a curse because that's the name. So we at least know that.
Yeah, so now in the first book, we were following the protagonist who does retrieve this necklace. And it's pretty much her figuring out how she's going to survive and how she's going to destroy this stone, but also destroy the brothers from them trying to kill her. And when we get to the second book, now we have to deal with the protagonist that is now the antagonist. Yes.
Okay, flip the script.
Yeah. Flip the script. So, you know, in the beginning of the first book, she meets one of the brothers, who falls in love with her, and pretty much he turns into the protagonist in the second book, and now she's the antagonist. So they pretty much switch places in the story. And now in the second book, you know, there's pretty much chaos and destruction, and a new stone has to be made. So friends and family are going to have to gather together to try to find a way to create this stone. But in the midst of that, there's a subplot because there's another character, there's new characters that come in, and there's also a huge backstory with the character from the first book that we get to know more about, which there's a lot of secrets that are revealed in the second book. So I'm very excited about that.
So just, I mean, what you're saying is amazing, because what I'm thinking, it's like, you have to have such a creative mind and such a thought process to get all of this down on paper, and to have thought of this for the past 20 something years to now have it published. So like I mentioned to the viewers, I was so like in awe when I first saw on Instagram last year that you had written this book. You wrote it so long ago. You wrote 4 books. You were self-publishing, self-promoting. There was so much that you were doing, and it was just like, oh my God, people need to know about this. So what from the last book to now, like, and I asked you this like earlier this week, what have you learned in terms of like, from the first book that you published, the process that it took? Because in the first live we did, you talked about the process. You talked about kind of getting it on Amazon. So you're a little bit of a pro to an extent now.
a little bit. I'm getting there.
What is like the big takeaway that you've seen, like the difference from the first book and that process to this one now? Because you got 2 more to go.
I have 2 more to go. I think with the first book, the process, it wasn't easy. It was very challenging because of what happened when I signed up with a self-publishing company. And then I kind of got screwed with that because I wasn't able to publish with that company because there were certain things I was promised and I didn't get it. So when I did the first book, it was kind of like a hamster in a wheel. So I was trying to look for an editor, and I didn't really know who was the best editor. You know, I just looked for a freelance editor, and you know, I went through it, and, you know, there were certain things that I should have gotten, like, you know, an extra proofreader and stuff. You know, I thought maybe I can do it myself, you know, and you can't. So I learned that it's always good to have a proofreader, a beta reader. You need extra eyes on the book to catch any errors and stuff. And, you know, obviously, nothing is perfect. Sometimes you do have a little error. It happens, but I move on from that. So I learned that, and I took that into the second book. Also, I researched a little bit more as far as with my book cover. I found a great site, a great company that was able to create the cover, and also they did formatting for the interior design of the book. So, I mean, that was like icing on the cake. So I really didn't have to go to like multiple people. And then also I met a wonderful girl, Jamie, from Instagram, and she wound up being a reviewer for my first book. And then I brought her into the TBC team, and she was my beta reader with me, and she read through the second book and pointed out whatever errors and things that I might need to fix. And I mean, I'm so grateful for that. So I learned a lot between the first book and the second book, but I think with the second book, it was a lot more smoother to publish. I wasn't as stressed as I was with the first book.
That's amazing. It is what it's a lot, and people do it.
Mhm.
People write and they self-publish, but everything
Mhm.
that you learn, like you said, knowing that you need an editor now, a
Yeah.
proofreader, you need
Yeah.
beta readers,
Mhm.
it's like all a learning process. So big
Yeah.
shout out to you for going through it the first
Yeah.
time, now the second time, because by the third and the fourth time, it's gonna be it's gonna be easier. It's just gonna keep
Yeah.
getting easier.
Yeah.
But I want you, because I'm also thinking of stuff we talked about in the first live, and I'm like, that was a while ago. People may not know
Yeah.
this. So I want you to kind of take us through the process of you writing these books to getting them published to having them on Amazon. You had this concept.
Yeah.
You had this concept. You lost the book. You lost the
Mhm.
pages.
Mhm.
And you had to rewrite them.
Mhm.
So I want you to kind of like include that and tell us, like, how do you even get a book on Amazon? What does that even entail?
Well, like I said in the first live that we did, how it started was that I was just randomly at work, and the story, like I said, never left my head. So I always thought about it and thought about it. And I said, well, I really want to rewrite this book. How can I rewrite this book? Where can I rewrite this book? And I found an app called Wattpad, and it's kind of like an app where beginners like of writing a book. Like some people like to write little short stories, fan fictions, and Harry Styles and all that stuff, BTS, and I went on the site and I said, well, let me try to write this book, from scratch, chapter to chapter, because you can like post chapters as you go, and then you start meeting people just like you would meet on Instagram when you're like connecting. So I networked on that site, and I met so many people that were adding the book. So each week they would read it. So that's how I just kept writing. I just kept writing the chapters until I was done. And then from there, I just like, as I was getting towards the end of The Brothers Curse, then I started thinking of ideas of the second book. And then I started writing the second book, then started publishing that, and then so on and so forth. Went into the trilogy. I was just like on a roll, girl. Like it was just back to back to back to back and just not stopping. So after I did that, I had so many people that was on that site, and they said, Christine, you have to publish this book. We would love to buy this book if you publish it. So that's when I decided to sign up with the self-publishing company. I was doing research, and I printed out my draft like papers, and I went through them, and I revised the entire book, which took me 5 months to write the first book, but it took me about 6.5 months to revise it, because I did like 2 revisions to it. And then when all that stuff happened with that company, I said, okay, well, let me figure it out. Amazon is pretty easy when it comes to publishing. All you have to do is make sure that, your cover files are good, your book files are good. They'll let you know before they even process it. So, and it's free. But if you want to do global distribution, which is what I also did, I used a site called Ingram Spark. They do global distribution where your books are distributed to Barnes and Nobles and mom and pop shops and brick and mortars, anything. So I think my book now is in Target.com. Like it's all over the place.
Wow.
So, and I researched this on YouTube. I was going through like authors on YouTube, and what's the best way to publish. And I found so many different authors on YouTube that were talking about these sites, and I checked them out, and I just, took it from there. It's all about research, girl.
No, and you did your research, it sounds like, because I'm
Yeah.
like trying to get all the steps down. So it sounds like the
Yeah.
first step is basically get your idea, your concept, your story on paper, or whatever, wherever you do it.
Yeah.
You want to write it, you want to type it, get it down on paper. Once it's down on paper, step 2 is do your research. And if you want to self-publish it, find out about, it sounds like printers, maybe somebody to design a cover for you, and an editor.
And an editor. Yeah, you can find an editor, copy editor. For the book cover and the format, I use MibLart. They're fantastic. They did such a great job. Took like 2 weeks to do the formatting for the book. I had already gotten my cover, I believe around February. So I like to have things done early. And I found that very easy. Once you have your cover, you're good. All you have to worry about is your format and your editing. And if you want a proofreader, if you want ARC readers, which I would definitely suggest. Those are readers that are willing to read your book for free before it gets published online, before it goes on sale. So you gather a whole group of ARC readers and they'll read your book. And then once your book comes out, you just get reviews. And reviews are very important for a book. I try to push that a lot when I'm networking, is that reviews are so important. When you do finish reading a book, please leave a review, because that definitely helps with the algorithm of the book world on Amazon. Because the more reviews you get, once you get at least 50 reviews, your book is pretty much put on top, like a top rank, where more people can see it. Also, I think that it's best also to check on keywords, which are really important. That's another thing I had to learn was keywords when I was publishing, was to add like my book names, the Brothers Curse Saga, urban, African-American, urban fantasy. So now anytime I check my book, I'm literally in the top 100s bestseller for Black and African-American horror fiction. So I'm in the same list with Lovecraft Country.
You need to do a class on everything you said. You need to because I thought I'm like, so step 1, step 2, and then you threw in like 20 more steps just now that are really crucial and important. And I don't think, they just see like, oh, this person has a book. There's a lot that goes into it to get it from like concept and then to get it into play. So everything that you said is it's super helpful. I really think you should talk about it, maybe like on your page or something, if anybody's interested, or if anyone's watching and they want to know, feel free to contact Christine and she'll get you all the information that you need.
Yes.
So she has the book, Christine has her book. And then in doing the book, you talked about your readers, your ARC readers, your reviewers, your all the people that come into play. It prompted you to start doing lives to talk to your readers and get ideas about your book and see what they think. Tell us about your lives.
Oh, so I thought about the lives based off of that website that I was on when I was publishing the chapters, because I used to have like live conversations on the comments. Whenever people would read my story, I would be able to have conversations with them right then and there. So I said, well, why not take that and implement that on IG lives and see if people who have finished reading my book would like to come on a 30-minute to 40-minute live segment and discuss the book with me, and just to listen to their feedback and how they felt about it.
And how has that been going? I mean, I watch them, but
I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. And, I can't speak for other authors other than myself, but I feel that it's not only about selling books and making money. For me, it's about connecting with my readers, because I write for my readers. I write a beautiful tale. I think I'm the writer, so of course we're going to think we wrote a beautiful tale. But to me, I feel like even though I get reviews and I read them, nothing is more magical than having a one-on-one talk with your reader, face to face. And who wouldn't want to do that with one of their favorite authors, in this world? And I feel like at the end of the day, God willing, if I ever make it big, at least people could say, hey, I spoke to her. We have a video, and I mean,
you're like, because if I make it big, you won't be speaking to me anymore.
No,
you won't be popping up on my lives.
That's not true. That is not true. You know me already. I'm as cool as a cucumber. To me, that's just all I care about is my readers. Anyone that buys the book, I always reach out to them through their DMs and say, hey, I have bookmarks. I can send them to you. And I just love connecting with people. And I've been connecting with a lot of wonderful people on Instagram. And there's such a huge, wide community of bookstagrammers. And I mean, the love and support I've been getting is just absolutely amazing. And I just hope to grow that audience and just wow people with a book like this. I think that it's great to have a book with so much diversity, and we all should be able to see ourselves in the characters we read, like I say.
Do you have a copy of the book with you?
Oh, I got both of them.
You got put them up.
We we got the Brother's Curse, and then we have the stone, the Curse of Mastema.
Oh, I like it. Well, I have the first one.
Oh, we gotta get you the second one, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the second one.
I got copies at home. I got copies here. If you want to get an autographed copy, I'll just bring the book.
When I see you next week, I'm gonna get that copy then. Okay,
there
so we'll
you
do it. We'll get up next week and do it. But for anybody watching that wants to be on your live, let them know what they need to do.
Well, first, what you gotta do is you gotta read this book, baby. That is just how this is how we gonna get the live. And you know what? Don't be scared at the girth of the book, because I was never a reader when I was a kid. I mean, you would have to just pull my hair just to get me to read a book. So that's why I wrote a book that I wouldn't say that was easy, but that was interesting. I write a book where I leave you with so many like mysteries that you have to keep going to the next chapter to find out what happens. So it's like kind of like a page turner, and that's how I like to read. So trust me, I will not bore you. Right. But definitely, once you read this book, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm @abstofitcoco, and and you can always DM me. We can always have a chat if you want to talk to me throughout the time you're reading the book. And once you're done and you let me know, we can just set up a live chat, and that's it. You know, I'm not somebody for a lot of Q&As. I just go with the flow.
No, you're right. And something else I'll say about the book is don't let the cover intimidate you, because not everyone are into horror. Yeah. And yes, there's some gory stuff, but there's a story behind it. And there's characters, and there's families, and there's, different components to it. So I don't want people to be dissuaded because they're like, oh my God, that looks scary. Like, it's a story. It's a story behind it.
Yeah. It's not all horror. It has thriller, it has romance, it has suspense, it has mystery. So, and there's not too much gore. There's just a few death scenes. People gotta die in books. Okay. Yeah. So I can't make it seem all rosy. I gotta really give it to you, but I'm not like every page you turn like you want to throw up. No. It's nothing like this. We're just following a girl that's just getting real tortured by this amethyst, and this darn stone is just hunting this poor girl. And you're just like, enough already. Can I just have a happy ending?
If I throw the damn stone away, if it's causing that much of a problem, girl, I'll get you a jade stone. There's emerald. There's all kind of other stones out there. If amethyst is not for you, I'm like, toss it. Just toss it at this point.
That's it. Get rid of it. No good.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to bring the second book back, because we talked a little bit about the first book. I have not read the second book, but that is the cover of the second book. Yes. This is the main character of the first book. Her name is Crystal.
Her name is Crystal Francois. And as you can see, she got red eyes. She got a claw mark on her face, but we will not tell you how she got that in the first book. But one hand she's holding a stone, and the other hand she's holding a fireball. So if you pay attention, because I'm very tricky, in the first book it says, "She who holds the stone awakes the shifters." So you look at this, "She who holds the stone awakes the shifters." So when you look at her with the red eyes, you can tell that based off of that subtitle, this is what happened. This is "She who holds the stone awakes the shifters." So
I love that connection. I love how you connected it. It's clever. It's really clever.
Yeah. And plus you see a beautiful melanin girl like us. And I always wanted to see something like this when I was a little girl. Most of the books I read, R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike and, Stephen King and everything just had a Caucasian, and I don't mind that, but when you see a nice chocolatey woman,
you want to pick it up and yes, you want to pick it up and buy it. Because the other thing is, like, in horror books, we die all the time. Us Black people, I used to read R.L. Stine. We read all that stuff when we were younger. And then when you go to horror movies, who's the first person to get killed? Like the one Black person. So it's good to have representation, you know, and have a main character, like you said, who looks like us, who
Mhm.
lived to make it through the second book.
Yeah.
From the first, I mean,
Yes.
who lived through the first book, I should say.
Well, don't worry. We got more Black folks and biracial and Asian. We got a few
Mhm.
more. So if one dies, we still got more to go. You know.
Oh, good.
So
Okay, good.
we ain't all dying. You know.
Okay, because you know in the movies it's just one of us, and you're always
It's just
rooting
one
for
of us.
that one person. You're like, I hope they live. I hope they live. And then right at the end, you're like, ah,
Well, honey, we got about 9 of them up in this one. Okay.
all right, good. So they got to catch us. They got to catch us because we're all
Catch us.
over. So that is awesome. So you have the book, you have the lives going on, you have your shirts that you have made that you're wearing now.
Trying to show it.
Promote, girl, promote.
Yes. The Brothers Curse Saga. As you can see, this is Crystal and the character Jason, the mysterious neighbor from the first book.
Got it. So if you want your Brother's Curse shirt, you can talk to Christine as well. So with the book and with the lives, are you just, I'm not going to say you're going to keep going, because of course you're going to keep going with this, but where do you see this going? Because in my head, I'm like, I've read it and it's very vivid. There's a lot of detail and it almost plays out like a play, because you so much detail. So that's good, because the next step to me would be like, you need to put this into some type of movie production. So I'm going to throw that out there for you, but I don't know if that's something that you're interested in, but what is the next step? Because you have the books, you have the promotion. There's so much detail. I feel like you could give the book to someone and they could just make it, you know, into a movie because it's so visual.
Absolutely. Well, I myself would like to write a screenplay of the book, but that's where I want to take it. As you know, when we were in high school, I was a big horror fan, and I wanted to become a film major in college. So, you know, doing the screen movie with you, because you were my camera lady.
Because I had to borrow, I was by default, we did this movie for art class in high school. Half of the school wound up being in it, and my mom had a camcorder at the time.
Yes.
Handheld so that was how I got pulled into it. So yeah, I can get a camcorder. I can ask my mom for a camcorder. She ain't got one now, but
that would be so fun if we did that again.
We can do we could shoot the first couple scenes on like a cam. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
It was so much fun, Blaine.
we had a good time. We had a good time in high school period. But making that movie was so much fun. But I think that's where this should go. And I think, you know, so I just want to know from you. I don't want to say you're going to do it, but is that something that you're interested in?
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to go far and beyond with it. I want to either make it into a movie or turn it into a series, get it on Hulu, get it on Netflix, get it on something. Okay. Because I've narrowed it down. I mean, yes, I have like a cast that I would love to be in it. So I think as I'm starting to network and push this book out, this is something in the future that I would love to do, because this is how I saw it as a kid. I saw it as something that I want to watch. And to be really honest with you, when was the last time we saw a nice horror flick or something that was good, that had a storyline like this and a plot? I would like to see it. I would like to watch it, you know?
I'll watch it. Well, we'll watch it.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's dark, and it's a fantasy. And to me, I feel like I say in my lives, there are a lot of horror books and stuff that kind of play in with like systematic racism when it comes to Black people, and just like the harshness and slavery. And I just feel like we need more writers, more film producers that are producing more stories like this, you know, that we can just kind of sit back, unwind, you know, get some popcorn, be like, oh, and just get it, you know, but not feeling angry after you watch something, you know? Like I watched this series, Them. I've never been so angry in my entire life after watching that. And I said, oh my God, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, the way it was filmed and everything, the cinematography, I loved it. But those kind of stories, I don't like those kind of triggers, you know? And I wanted to write a story that didn't focus on that just focused on this story about this girl and this stone and these demons, you know, something different. Sometimes we need to change it up a little bit. And I'm just hoping that more people are open to grabbing a copy of this book and reading it, and you can come on and discuss it with me and be part of the TBC crew. You read the book, you review it, you get a shirt. And yeah, and that's about it, because we're gonna keep going with this story. It gets really dark, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so.
And if we were to hypothetically, say you're gonna make this movie, we're all gonna watch it. Who do you imagine playing the lead character of Crystal? Do you see yourself going like super Hollywood with a known name, or do you see yourself kind of reaching to an unknown, lesser known source to play the character?
I mean, it can go both ways. If I knew someone that can play her, but I know an actress. I mean, she's not super super famous, but her name is Antoinette Robertson, and she was on to Have a Have Nots and also Dear Black People. And I watched her, and I said, this girl can play the hell out of Crystal. Like, I just see her just playing that character. But if it was someone that wasn't famous that would come in and read her part, yeah, why not? Everyone deserves a chance. I would love to play that part, but I mean, do I look like I'm 25?
we look good, all right.
I mean, I would love to play the part, but I don't know.
Right. No, I mean, makeup does a lot. If you don't think that you look 25, you get some good makeup, you get some good lighting, hit those angles, and you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
But that's good. And for whatever reason, when I think of the sheriff, I can't even remember the guy's name, but there's this guy, and I feel like he always plays like a sheriff. And he was a sheriff in Lake Placid, the movie Lake Placid.
Okay, I remember.
I can't remember his name, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. But every time I picture the sheriff, I like picture him because he's always like yelling at people, and he's always so upset, which I get because people are getting killed all throughout his town.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like who I would envision as the sheriff. I can't remember his name, but he's a well-known actor. He's been in stuff.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, he is always angry, that man, but he can't solve no cases. He needs to retire.
He's not. You move to these sleepy towns, you don't think stuff like that is going to happen, then bodies start showing up. You're unprepared. So I get it. But for anybody who is watching or who wants to connect with you and they're just starting out, because something that people may not understand is like putting your book out there. It's like your child. You have written this, you've nurtured it, you've done edits, you've done rewrites, you've probably gotten so sick of looking at it that you wanted to be like, I'm done, and then come back to it. What is a piece of advice that you would give to anybody who's like, I want to start out, I want to write, I want to see my book on Amazon, I want people to buy it, but I don't even know what to do? What would you say?
I mean, the first thing is just write your story. Don't worry about anything else. I didn't think about that. I just thought about just writing the story, making sure that it was
Uh-oh, now. I don't know what you said. Uh-oh, now I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me, but now I can't hear you. Oh no, we're gonna end this live just how we started with an audio problem. We were gonna oh, here we go.
Mommy, don't call. We're live. Oh, Jesus. But what I would say is just don't worry about all that. First, just get your story. Get your story together. Make sure your story is good. It's up to standards. It's up to your liking. And then from there, then you take it, you find your editor and you go down that list. But just enjoy it. Just write your story. Don't think about all of that stuff. Because you know what? Once you start thinking about everything ahead of time, it kind of is very overwhelming. So start with your story first, because that is what you're trying to sell, right? It's your story. So start with that, and then everything else will fall into place.
I think that's really, really, just get it down. Just get it out your head and get it down.
And get it down. Yeah. I didn't think about anything. I just wrote the book. That's all it was.
And that's a big process. That's a big step.
Yeah.
And for anybody that wants to hear more about the book, learn more about Christine, see us laugh and kiki and have like all the fun that we normally have, they can catch us again, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, they can catch us later this month.
They can
on.
catch us in June. Sorry, I was having things popping up. I don't know why that happens. But yes, you can catch us in Authors to Readers in June. I will be posting that on my IG as well this weekend so that people can know. And I'm just so happy that you're coming on. This is going to be so much fun.
We have a good time. I'm gonna be a guest on Christine's live, which is gonna be so different because I'm used to asking all the questions,
Yes.
but we're gonna be talking more about the book, more about the characters. So if you want to learn more, check that out. I'll post the information as well on my Instagram. Christine's gonna post it on hers. So we're gonna get more into the book and the characters and and just be our normal fun selves that we always are when we're talking to each other.
Yes. It's all about having the fun,
We do. We have a lot of fun. And I appreciate you for being here. And I'm so proud of the journey that you've been on, because like I said, putting a book out there, like, you run the risk of criticism, you run the risk of no one liking it, you run all these risks. But then you're kind of just like, I got to do this because this is for me. And if people like it, they like it. And if they don't, it is what it is,
Yeah, it comes with the package. That's what it is. You can't write something and think it's not for everyone. But whoever it does touches, that's what's special about it. So it comes with the package. It is what it is. You just keep going. Don't ever let that steer you away from writing, because everybody will have their own opinion. The word opinion. So.
And if people just, I'm going to put up a thank you post and everything later, but if people just can't wait and they want to connect with you tonight, can you tell us where they can find you on Instagram and Facebook or wherever you want them to find you?
Well, on Facebook, you can find me at Christine M. Germain. And on Instagram, you can find me at Abs to Fit Coco.
And that's two. That's what it's.
That's Abs 2, the number 2, Fit Coco, COCOA. Which was my fitness page, but everybody's trying to tell me to change it. But I'm like, everybody knows me as Abs to Fit Coco. I'll change it one day in the future, but for now, we'll keep it that way. But my name is still on the page.
You can tell it's her because she has, if you go to her page, she has all of the amazing graphics for her book. Her graphics are fire. And you can find out more about her book. You can learn more about her. You can get the book so that you can hopefully get on one of her lives. And I'm just going to ask you one more time. So hold up the books we have on the screen that they can search you on Amazon to get it. But let's just do this plug. Okay. Yes. You see it right there, The Brother's Curse. And then the second book, The Stone, The Curse of Mastema, which is out now, both available on Amazon. If you want to be an ARC reader, do you still need ARC readers or not right now?
I mean, for now, no. I mean, I'll probably be needing some ARC readers for the third book because it's it's the longest book in the series, probably 600 pages. So I have 3 people already that are on board for the ARC reading. I mean, you could do it too, but
that's a lot. Look, how long did it take me with the first one? I was like, oh my gosh, I have to. And the first one wasn't even that long. I just like every time I went to pick it up, like something was going down, and I didn't get to continuously read it. So, but we're good. We're good to go for this month.
It's all good.
No,
I still love you, Blaine.
No. We're good. We're good to go. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yes.
I just want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you. Actually, before I say all the thank yous, I am so sorry because you were a guest. You go ahead and you do your thank yous and shout outs first, please.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you so much for being such a huge supporter throughout like my journey and just being such a great friend and having me on your live because it's just so fun to have this connection with you again. So I'm just so grateful for that. I also just want to thank all of my readers, all of my supporters that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, just everyone that's just on Team TBC, so just huge shout outs to everybody, my friend Jamie and Brady and Stevie and just a whole bunch of people on Instagram, just a whole bunch of people. I love all of you guys. So I just want to thank everybody. And of course, I want to thank my mom, and I also want to thank my grandmother, 2 beautiful women in my life that have been supporting my writing since I was a little girl. Both books are dedicated to them. My second book is dedicated to my grandma Rose. So, and she's very, very proud of me. So I definitely want to shout out my family for being that support.
No, that's beautiful because family support is everything. And I know that your
Yes.
family your mother and your grandmother especially play like a huge role in your life. So,
Yeah.
excuse me.
It's okay.
Oh, here's the books. Okay, so the books are right here.
Oh, look.
Yes. Everybody take a look. Let me sip this water real quick.
Oh, girl, my mouth is dry.
So here's where you can get them on Amazon. Please leave a review.
Please, yes, reviews.
Mhm. That's how we buy stuff, is off of reviews. So that's how I buy stuff, is off of reviews.
Yes.
So well, I want to give you a huge shout out because, like I mentioned earlier, when I first decided to host Instagram Lives last year and then now move it over to the radio network, you were the first person that I thought of to be a guest because I was just so impressed and so excited for you to be doing all that you're doing. And I wanted people to know about it. I'm like, someone has to know that you can take your ideas and your thoughts and it makes it impossible to do it, but you can make it happen. And so you are just really someone that has showed everybody that you can do whatever you want to do. It can be done. So I want to thank you for being an inspiration for my lives and for now being the first guest to come on for the second time.
Thank you.
And big shout out, as always, as I mentioned, Christine and I, like I said, we went to high school together. We reconnected as adults in different situations. And then now we have consistently been connected.
This is my ride or die.
We are like stuck with each other now. We're like voice notes, everything.
That's it.
But big shout out to our Bishop Ford High School community. And I say that because they have been supporting you. They have been buying the books.
Absolutely. I love all of my Ford peeps. Oh my God. Everyone is just out here truly supporting. I love them all. Like, they're just dope. Oh God, the best. We grew up with these people because we all went to high school together. And we, like I said, Christine and I are from Brooklyn. We love where we come from. We love our high school and everybody that went there. So big shout out to our Bishop Ford community who supports you heavily, who supports me heavily as well. Yes.
We're super thankful and grateful for you all.
They're like family. They're just our Ford family. That's all it is. We always stick together, man. Yeah.
We do. It's so funny because people that were under us, and now I see them on Instagram, and it's like I keep picturing them as a kid.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, who's this person? Like, who is that? And it's like we're not supposed to grow up, but but big shout out to everybody who supports you from Bishop Ford, and of course I want to give a big shout out to everybody who watches the lives. And let's see. Oh, I thought Kelly was on here. I think Cal. Okay, I thought Kelly was on here, but since I said her name, I'm gonna say it anyway. Big shout out to Kelly of Kelly Dayan Designs for being. I think she was on here earlier. For supporting us, supporting the lives.
Thank you.
So thank you, Christine. You have to come back for the third book. Again, you can catch us doing what we're doing now.
Yes. We're going to keep going, girl. We're just going to ride this out.
We're going to be on Christine's live later this month. More information will be coming about that on my page and Christine's page. So in the meantime, go get the book, everyone. Contact Christine if you have it. There it goes right there. Go ahead. And we thank you all for watching and supporting. And I will see everybody next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you.